Hello, everyone. Welcome to Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette's 20th Annual Luncheon, presented by CARE Oregon. We are so excited to be connected with you live in studio this afternoon. My name is Julia Ramos. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a Portland comedian and a proud Planned Parenthood supporter. I'm so honored to be one of your co-hosts for today.
And my name is Becca Danson. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the front office systems coordinator here at PPCW and your other co-host for today. And I am very excited to be here with you, Julia.
I'm excited to be here with you.
I have been working remotely since COVID, and so this is a real nice excuse to get out of my pink crushed velvet sweatpants and celebrate this incredible milestone with all of you.
So happy you're here. We'd like to start by acknowledging that PPCW's 7 health centers are on the traditional land of the Chinook, Clackamas, Kalapuya, Molalla, and Adfalti peoples. PPCW's wider service region also includes the traditional lands of dozens of other tribes and includes the Warm Springs, Umatilla, Grand Ronde, Siletz, Burns Paiute, Klamath, and Cowlitz reservations. PPCW recognizes that it's important to move beyond acknowledgement and reflect on your own history that brought you to this place. This land acknowledgement is one small step in an ongoing commitment for PPCW to improve their support of Indigenous communities in the area.
Thank you, Julia. As a staff member, I really want to emphasize my appreciation for your support. It is true that today is a celebration of this amazing event, which over the last 20 years has united thousands of PPCW supporters together for a common cause. But it is also a critical time for all of us to be connected because there is so much at stake right now.
Yes. Before Roe v. Wade, the most privileged people, almost exclusively white, wealthy women, had limited access to legal abortion by traveling long distances or navigating expensive bureaucratic loopholes. For everyone else, especially people with low incomes and women of color, accessing abortions was difficult, expensive, illegal, and often dangerous. And now, nearly 50 years after the Supreme Court declared it a protected right, safe and legal abortion is at risk for half of the women and people of reproductive age in our country. And millions will be facing the same barriers as those living in the pre-Roe era.
At PPCW, we believe that all people deserve access to the care that they need, when they need it, and where they need it. Knowing that all of you believe this too and have our backs helps us be resilient in the face of anything. So thank you all for your support, especially right now and into the future.
Yes, it takes many individuals and organizations to impact real change. Among those watching today are some powerful leaders from our community. We want to give those folks an extra special thank you for what you do and for your partnerships. None of us can do our work without each other, and we are proud to count you as friends of PPCW. Now, to officially kick off the program, we'd like to share a special message for all of you from President and CEO of Planned Parenthood Federation of America, Alexis McGill-Johnson.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today to support 20 years of Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette's annual luncheon. As we mark the 49th anniversary of Roe v. Wade, there is nowhere else that I would rather be than with Planned Parenthood's dedicated supporters. All of you. I want to thank each and every one of you for the way that you have stood with Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette this year. When they needed you, you were there, and that meant when patients needed them, they kept our shared promise. Care no matter what. Ann Udall is leading an incredible team across Oregon and Washington. And I know we have many members of the staff joining us today, so I really want to say to you, thank you. Thank you for smashing stigma, for igniting imagination, and for giving people the tools to make decisions about their own bodies and futures. You never back down. Throughout the pandemic, you never closed your doors because you always put patients first. Across the Federation, you have shown one of the largest improvements in patient experience over the last few years, and you're digging deep into the diversity, equity, inclusion work that is so critical, constantly raising the bar to ensure you're making a positive difference in the lives of the 40,000 people you serve each year. In 2022, I hope to channel your leadership, grace, and tenacity. And we know this year is going to require us to think, rethink, and reimagine. but we refuse to settle for anything less than real freedom. No half measures, no compromises, no complacency. It has been 5 months since Texas SB 8 went into effect. Texas patients have traveled all the way to your health centers for care. Let that sink in. Because at the same time, we are waiting to hear what the Supreme Court will rule in Dobbs versus Jackson Women's Health Organization. But we know they could unravel Roe once and for all. We have never been so close to losing a fundamental constitutional right. So yes, it is also a very dark moment. But movements exist because of darkness. It is our job to imagine the light when we can't see it, to turn pain into purpose, into promise, and into power. We need that energy right here in so-called safe states. We need to support our partners on the ground in Texas and Mississippi, but there is also real work to be done right here at home. We need to be thinking about what you can do to be ready for an influx of patients. What foundation can we lay to ensure that people flying to access abortion is not a future state? Essentially, how are we going to prepare for the reconstruction of reproductive rights? At a minimum, we have to be just as relentless and strategic as our opponents. No, we can't get there by being complacent or waiting for the courts to determine our future for us. This is a moment that calls on us to be who we know we can be, to be bold, unapologetic, fierce, and ready to fight for each and every patient. Speaking of bold and unapologetic leaders, I am so excited for you all to hear from our keynote speaker, Roxane Gay. Her work has helped me make meaning in some of the craziest times. Every book, every word, every column is a revelation. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope to see you for the next 20 years, and I really, really hope to see you soon.
Thank you so much, Alexis. We are proud to have you leading Planned Parenthood right now, and I think we are all equally excited to hear from Roxane Gay later in the program. As Alexis said, now is the time to be bold, unapologetic, fierce, and ready to fight for each and every patient. And look, you're taking steps to do that right now by attending the luncheon. Look at you go. We are counting on all of you to get involved and to stay engaged in the months and years ahead.
Among PPCW's wonderful community of supporters is annual luncheon presenting sponsor Care Oregon and visionary matching gift sponsors Samantha Richardson, Christine and David Vernier, and Jordan Schnitzer and the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation. Later in the program, there will be opportunities to double the impact of your gifts thanks to our visionary sponsors.
We also want to thank Protector sponsors, Sharon and Steve Brenner, Compassion and Choices, Green Gables Design and Restoration, Kristen Salt of the Ameriprise Salt Advisory Team, Los Libres, McDowell Rackner Gibson, OHSU, Mary Overgard and David Cook, Stoll Reeves, Evans Van Buren, and Sharon Robbins. With all of these amazing folks, along with promoter sponsors, virtual table captains, and guests, we have so many wonderful people and organizations supporting PPCW right now. Thank you all for standing with us.
Now, I'm thrilled to welcome to the studio President and CEO of presenting sponsor Care Oregon, Eric Hunter.
Hello, everyone. My name is Eric Hunter, and I'm the President and CEO of Care Oregon. I am proud to be here with you today for Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette's 20th Annual Luncheon. I'd like to pause for a moment to reflect on the past 20 years that PPCW has held this luncheon and the nearly 60 years of service to our community. I'm sure that many tuning in today have been with PPCW on its journey and that they have been a part of yours as well. There is so much to celebrate. Thinking about the healthcare landscape here in Oregon, we've made tremendous progress over the decades. And yet we continue to face challenges in delivering equitable, accessible care. Yes, Oregon's made great strides in increasing access to care regardless of immigration status. And yet, as we've seen in this pandemic, communities of color, immigrant communities, and low-income communities are still facing higher barriers to care and experiencing worse health outcomes. That's why the work of accessible, trusted healthcare providers like PPCW is so important. They provide preventive health services in a setting where patients feel safe and understood. Yes, Oregon's taken proactive steps to ensure continued access to all types of reproductive care, and yet at the national level, we're still having a conversation and litigation around a woman's right to choose. We need organizations like PPCW to continue to lead the way and the conversation about inclusive health care for all. As the largest provider of Oregon health plan services in our state, I'd like to say thank you on behalf of our members, on behalf of our team, and on behalf of all the other providers in our network that you partner with. Change, true change, will take us all. We're proud to be in the trenches with you, fighting for equal and equitable access to care. For folks tuning in, I know that you are too. So please, give big and remember that every dollar is contributing to life-changing care. And with that, as the Luncheon's first official presenting sponsor, Care Oregon is proud to introduce this retrospective look at the past 20 years of the PPCW Annual Luncheon.
It's truly wonderful to see how this grew from the spark of an idea to a massive gathering of support for Planned Parenthood. Just kind of jumped off and booked the Sentinel Hotel.
We really didn't know if anybody would come. Turned out that we sold out at the venue that held 450 people.
Everybody was so excited about them, and it just grew from word of mouth.
Just the enthusiasm of the luncheon. There's so many people supporting a common cause.
You have to walk through protesters. It's just not fun, but it kind of riles you up and gives you a lot of energy.
One of the things that I think makes volunteering and working for Planned Parenthood unique from other nonprofits is the constant threat that people are under, both financially, legislatively.
You know, when Roe v. Wade came around in '73, we literally danced in the street. We thought, oh my God, the fight is over.
In the early days of the luncheon, this was an idea to honor the anniversary of Roe versus Wade. And now, 20 years later, we're in the thick of it.
There was a woman, and she said that she had lost her mother to a back alley abortion when she was young. And she said, I never have missed a brother or sister I might have had, but to this day I still miss my mother. And that just never left me.
It feels like we're at a tipping point in so many ways, and I feel for the next generation in terms of the work that needs to be done.
My dream is that everybody will understand how important this is.
Everybody has to build upon those that came before them.
In these times, we need to come together to show support for Planned Parenthood, and the luncheon is one of the best ways we can do that.
I can't believe that we're still fighting this battle after all these years, but we have to. I think that's why Planned Parenthood is so important. That's why this luncheon is so important. That's why we have to keep fighting.
Wow. That was a beautiful tribute to the luncheon's legacy and a powerful reminder about why we have to keep fighting. So much has happened since the first annual luncheon.
Over the last 20 years, extremist politicians across the country have steadily pushed abortion restrictions on state levels, putting safe abortion out of reach for millions, even with Roe in place. Climate-fueled disasters have been on the rise, and our region has seen record-breaking weather events like ice storms and heat domes. We lived through a presidential administration that openly incited fear, hate, and violence against marginalized communities. And we watched in horror as a literal coup was attempted on our capital by a mob of white supremacists just 1 year ago. And we're now entering our third year of a global pandemic, and Roe v. Wade is at risk like never before.
While it is true that we have all faced many challenges over the last 20 years, we also have to remember the stories of hope, resilience, and strength. Just 7 years ago, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of marriage equality after decades of LGBTQ communities fighting for equal recognition in the eyes of the law. My beautiful bride and I took full advantage of this right in 2020 in the middle of the surging pandemic.
Congratulations.
That's us. Oh, she's so cute. We also saw the Black Lives Matter movement grow from a social media hashtag in response to racist police violence to one of the largest protest movements in US history, spurring long overdue action and conversations about racial equity and the need for policy solutions. And thanks to a powerful community coalition, including Planned Parenthood Advocates of Oregon and reproductive justice organizations led by women of color, we saw the passage of Oregon's groundbreaking Reproductive Health Equity Act, one of the most progressive reproductive bills in the country.
And just in the past few months, the horrific Title X gag rule was rescinded nationwide, and the FDA has permanently lifted the ban on mailed medication abortion pills, which will expand access for patients living in states that protect abortion rights. Over the last 20 years, PPCW has remained steadfast in their mission. They have provided more than 1 million patients with birth control, STI testing and treatments, cervical cancer screenings, gender-affirming care, PEP and PrEP for HIV prevention, and safe abortion.
And all of you, our supporters, have helped us provide this care and keep it accessible and affordable. Who better to tell you all about how life-changing this care can be than a PPCW patient? Let's hear from her now.
I feel empowered when I come into Planned Parenthood. It's just really important for people to know what their options are.
As I had an abortion here.
It feels very safe.
Feels like a safe place.
It really is rooted in community.
It was just like a gut feeling that I should go to Planned Parenthood.
I don't know that my story overall is unique. I had learned to live a little bit, and then I made a decision, and after that I learned to live a lot. My decision to get an abortion was probably the first decision that I had made. I didn't have any reservations about. The only shame that I ever had was thinking about what other people in my family would think. It's not to say that they're not great people, because they are. I love them very much, but we just sit on two very different sides of this. In that moment, at least for me and my decision, I didn't need anyone else's feedback. I chose Planned Parenthood because it was the name that I knew of. Planned Parenthood for me was an actual safe space. Like, they said it, and then I felt it. That fear of judgment's always gonna be there. I don't know that that necessarily goes away being human beings, but finding that liberating feeling of at least telling the story one time can be enough motivation to keep telling it.
I didn't really know the story I was gonna tell, obviously my own. I kind of overthought it. I'd
written everything I thought I was going to say word for word, and then I got up on stage and I threw that out the window. I've had people around me go, yeah, I felt that way too. Or yes, that's been my experience. Or I was afraid of that also. And we don't get that same connection if we keep it inside. Planned Parenthood for me was the full support system, and that made all the difference. They're gonna be able to give you options, they're gonna help you figure this out. And I would shout it from the rooftops if that was an option. To have anyone relate or want to hear my story is a privilege. Thank you for watching, thank you for listening. Thank you for continuing to make Planned Parenthood what it is and what we need it to be. I bet you didn't see that one coming. I'm a proud Planned Parenthood supporter because I'm a patient. In one of the most difficult times in my life, PPCW was there for me. The staff and providers who helped me had no judgment about my choice and were so deeply compassionate and caring. If every person who walks into one of their health centers is treated like I was, I know they will feel safe, affirmed, and trusted to make their own decision about their bodies and their futures.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful video. It can be hard to imagine what a post-Roe world would look like, because we've already been serving patients flying from states like Texas and Mississippi. But the reality is that if Roe falls, the number of patients traveling from hostile states will increase drastically. And we will do everything in our power to support them and the 40,000 people we serve each year in our region. Because our providers believe in the health, well-being, and dignity of every patient who comes to us, no matter their zip code or their income.
As PPCW's community, you have shown up time and time again because you know how important they are to the people they serve. You have kept them resilient over the last 20 years, and your continued support is crucial. During the program, you can make a meaningful gift to PPCW and it will be doubled thanks to our visionary matching sponsors. Just click the donate button above our heads or text PPCW20 to 44321 to make your gift.
I know for a fact that all of you out there are committed to our mission. So let's hear directly from some local community leaders about why they stand with PPCW.
Planned Parenthood provides a health touch point for women and the communities they sustain, and we need to sustain Planned Parenthood and help it grow.
As a family physician, I know that we will never achieve racial justice in this state without access to high-quality, affordable reproductive health care for every Oregonian. And that's exactly what Planned Parenthood provides.
I support Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette because they provide care no matter what. Congratulations to 20 inspiring luncheons, and here's to 20 more.
I stand with Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette because every Oregonian and American deserves to have their sexual and reproductive health protected. Thank you for all you do in that regard.
I'm proud to support Planned Parenthood because reproductive freedom is the very essence of a livable community, allowing women and their family the wide range of choices that they deserve, that we fought for and that we're going to keep.
We support Planned Parenthood because every Oregonian deserves access to
affordable, high-quality health care.
Congratulations on the 20 years of luncheons, and here's to another 20 years.
I'm so proud to join you this morning. Reproductive health care is absolutely a human right.
As the only woman in Oregon's congressional delegation, I will always fight in Congress for full and equitable access to the essential health care that Planned Parenthood provides. And that includes abortion, because everyone should have the freedom to decide if and when to have a child. Thank you for all you do.
I support Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette because they know that even during a pandemic, your health care can't wait. Congratulations to 20 inspiring luncheons, and here's to 20 more.
I stand with Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette because health care is a human right that everyone should have equitable access to, and I know that Columbia-Willamette Planned Parenthood makes sure that they have just that.
I support Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette because they provide care no matter what. Congratulations on 20 inspiring luncheons. Here's to 20 more.
I support Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette because reproductive health care is a right we must protect for every single Oregonian.
My name is Kate Lieber, and I am honored to serve as a state senator for Senate District 14. I'm delighted to be here today in support of the critical work of Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette and the 40,000 people they serve every year with essential health care and education. Everyone deserves to feel empowered in their lives and in their workplace, assured that they and their families have access to the health care they need, not just the health care they can afford. This understanding has always grounded me in my work and continues to guide me in the Oregon Senate. On a personal level, as a mother of two, I am committed to ensuring a world in which your body is your own and you have control over your health and your future. As a breast cancer survivor, I know how important it is to have the coverage you need when you need it at a price you can afford. To say this past year has been a challenge is an understatement. In the past 12 months, states across the country have enacted more than 100 abortion restrictions, the highest number passed since Roe v. Wade ruling in 1973. These restrictions include the recent Texas Senate Bill 8. They are devastating, and the effects will be felt by all of us for years to come. On December 1st, the Supreme Court of the United States began hearing arguments for Dobbs versus Jackson, a Mississippi case that has the potential to overturn Roe versus Wade. The outcome does not look good because let's be clear, there will always be abortion. And for those with resources, they will always have access to safe abortions. The people who are and will continue to be affected by restrictions most are people with low incomes, people of color, immigrants, and the LGBTQ communities. The ongoing pandemic has increasingly revealed inequities that have existed for years and has shown us how crucial it is to expand access to health care. Last year, I was proud to work with Planned Parenthood leaders to ensure greater equity in access to the full spectrum of reproductive care. I am proud to represent a state that does not leave the health care of our most vulnerable to the whims of a few justices, but works proactively to advance and protect the health of our communities. PPCW has never strayed from its mission, and it's committed to expanding access to care and education across Oregon and Southwest Washington, no matter what. This is a critical time in our country and a critical moment in history. Thank you for joining me in supporting the vital work of Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette.
Thank you so much, state representatives and senators. And a special thank you to Governor Brown for your steadfast support and to Senator Lieber for your incredibly powerful words.
Yes. There are many leaders in our region who stand publicly with PPCW's mission, and some of them are even watching and supporting virtually right now. We can't exactly see you in the crowd, but we know you're out there. Your support means so much to PPCW and the people they serve.
Now, it is my honor to introduce to the studio our wonderful President and CEO, Ann Udall, and Board Chair, Ashley Thurstrup.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today for our 2022 annual luncheon. My name is Ann Udall, and I'm the President and CEO of Planned Parenthood Columbia-Willamette.
And my name is Ashley Thurstrup. I'm honored to serve as the Board Chair of PPCW. Ann and I are so grateful to have all of you joining us today because, let's be honest, Zoom fatigue is real, but you're here because you're invested in our mission and you know what's at stake right now. And as a mom of 2 young girls, what's at stake is personal for me. So thank you for being here.
Today, we're celebrating 20 years of our annual luncheon, founded to honor the Roe v. Wade ruling of 1973. The weight of this year's event does not escape any of us because Roe is under threat like never before.
We've been battling some tough headwinds this last year. So many in our community have had to leave their jobs to care for their families and are still struggling to pay for basic necessities like food, shelter, and health care. And people with low incomes and Black, Brown, Indigenous, and tribal communities are disproportionately impacted by the pandemic due to structural racism in our institutions.
2021 was the most devastating year for abortion restrictions in decades, and 2022 is looking even worse. 26 states are now poised to ban or severely restrict access to safe, legal abortion if Roe is overturned. And our neighboring state, Idaho, is one of those states. The constitutional rights of 36 million women and people who can become pregnant hang in the balance.
In moments like these, we must rise to the occasion and cultivate resiliency. Because as the late bell hooks said, there is light in darkness, you just have to find it. And the resiliency of our staff and all of you, our community, has been our light.
In this second year of COVID, our health centers have remained open to provide essential health care for more than 40,000 patients. And our remarkable education teams are now teaching in virtual, in hybrid, and in-person models, ensuring that comprehensive sex education is still accessible to all young people.
And thanks to the incredible partnership with our advocacy arms, Planned Parenthood Advocates of Oregon and Planned Parenthood Votes Northwest, we're a national leader in access to reproductive health care. Because despite constant opposition from extremists, Oregon and Washington states have the fewest restrictions to abortion access in the country.
Today, I'm honored to share that we received a generous gift from the Susan Hammer Fund of the Oregon Community Foundation. As many of you know, our dear friend and supporter Susan passed away in 2020 after a long battle with cancer. This luncheon simply would not be possible without her. Because of this wonderful, wonderful gift, PPCW is now starting renovation for the new Susan N. Hammer Surgical Suite at the Northeast Portland Health Center. This space will include a special garden as well. This investment is necessary to meet the upcoming challenges we face.
Because looking ahead, there's an Idaho law already on the books that would make abortion a felony if Roe v. Wade is overturned. When enacted, this law will severely impact communities in Idaho and in Eastern Oregon and could lead to a 234% increase in patients traveling to us from out of state. In response, PPCW is actively preparing to meet the needs of these patients by expanding our telehealth programs and increasing access for rural patients who will be affected by Idaho's trigger law.
We are deeply, deeply grateful for what all of you have helped us accomplish so far. I cannot overstate how important your continued support is right now as we prepare for a post-Roe world, because we simply cannot do this without all of you.
Your presence today speaks volumes about your commitment to our mission, and this collective presence is powerful for me, for Anne, the board, and the people we serve, and for our staff, who are the heart of our organization. And many of them are watching the event right now, so it is my distinct honor to introduce a message from some of our staff to you, our community.
At least once a day, someone says, I come because I'm not judged here. I can't imagine, what my life would be without this type of service.
I had a patient that was coming in for medicated abortion. They were all alone. They were a trans individual. Was they're going to do this really scary thing. We just had a moment to be together and to just acknowledge each other's presence. They weren't alone.
It means everything to me to have the honor of going into the room with the patient and them trusting me with their most vulnerable sexual health needs.
It honestly does feel like I'm doing my part in order to help make change. It should be accessible. We have that right. We should have that right.
Reproductive health care is a person's choice. It's a person's freedom. It has us trickle down into every aspect of a person's life. Economic freedom, social freedom. So it really is at our foundation and our root that reproductive health care is essential.
It's all encompassing, I guess, right? You take away abortion rights, you take away people's ability to choose when and how to parent, and everything crumbles.
What's at stake with Roe v. Wade, it's everything.
It's a fundamental right that people have access to understanding their own bodies and feeling good in their own bodies.
Limited access to reproductive care affects communities of color. I fear for the health of my community and our access to resources that we deserve as a human right.
I am more than happy to be someone's counselor,
medical provider,
advocate,
a supporter,
friend, safe space.
That is what we're here for, and nothing else should matter.
Planned Parenthood serves all people.
We put in literal blood, sweat, tears in this job. So knowing that there are donors supporting us makes this job easier.
You guys are the reason that this is possible.
Our donors do so much to just keep everything moving.
This is so much more than a job.
to know that you have access to that care, it really changes people's lives.
Now, more than ever, PPCW and their staff need your support. These are the people who I remember serving me as a patient, and these are the people who will provide safe, affirming, compassionate care for patients traveling from hostile states. And I know this care is life-changing because for me and so many people in my life, and probably in your life too, Planned Parenthood has been a safe place. It's the safe place, and it always will be with your support.
I know that you're here today, watching today, because you want to help. So it's time. It's the big moment. Right now, we are asking all of you to stand with us and make a gift of any amount to support PPCW. We're going to go through multiple giving levels and recognize those of you who want to publicly share your support with us. So let's start with our first giving level. This is exciting, of $5,000.
That's a big one.
That's a big one. It's a lot of money. I am excited to announce that our presenting sponsor, Care Oregon, will kick us off with a generous $5,000 donation. Thank you so much, Care Oregon.
Yes.
To make your gift right now, click the donate button above this video or text PPCW20 to 44321. Will anyone else make a gift of $5,000 for PPCW? Senator Kate Lieber
Wow.
and her wife Monique Matheson have just made a $5,000 gift. Thank you so much, Senator Lieber and Monique. And Holly Silver, thank you for your generous gift of $5,000.
Holy moly.
Oh my gosh. Oh man, the money's coming in. People are donating.
That's so kind.
This is so wonderful. Lucy Bethel Reynolds, $5,000. Oh my goodness.
This is real. It's
This is
happening.
real.
It's what we've been waiting for.
In real time.
Look at all these wonderful gifts. Thank you so much, everyone.
All right, so let's move to our next level of giving. We have a special giving level of $2,000 to commemorate the 20 years of the annual luncheon. Visionary matching gift sponsors Christine and David Vernier have generously offered a $40,000 matching donation at this level.
Wow.
Whew. We need 20 gifts of $2,000 to meet this generous match. PPCW's president and CEO Ann Udall and her wife Tilly Clark are so invested in us reaching this goal that they are starting us off with our first $2,000 gift. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Can anyone join Ann and Tilly with a $2,000 match to help us meet our goal? Heather Hale.
No.
Thank you so much, $2,000. If you want to donate, please click the donate button above our heads, or you can text PPCW20 to 44321. The money is coming. Oh, woo. Ben Wood from Moral Inc., thank you so much. Thank you so much for your generous $2,000 donation. Oh, Betsy Henning, we just learned with promoter sponsor AHA, has made a generous gift of $2,000, which has been doubled.
Where's the confetti?
Confetti! Thank you so much.
There it is!
Thank you so much, Betsy. Marion Griffiths, $2,000. Promoter sponsor Janet Hoffman, thank you for your generous gift of $2,000. Megan Miller and Christine Rinder, I see you both. Thank you so much for donating. Can anyone else make a donation of $2,000? Rob and Julia Ball, $2,000. Kristen Bremer, thank you so much. Oh my goodness. Woo! We need 20 gifts at this level. Jean and Richard Josephson, thank you for your generous gift of $2,000.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Wow, this is
overwhelming.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh my gosh, thank you all so much. Thank you everyone out there. This is Incredible.
Wow, this is so great. Thank you for your generosity, and thank you to the Verniers for your generous matching gift. It's amazing.
All right, so let's move to our next level of giving, $1,000.
Still big.
Still big. We have another great matching gift opportunity to honor 20 years of the annual luncheon. So PPCW board member Bradley Miller and visionary matching gift sponsor Jordan Schnitzer and the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation are pledging $10,000 each for a $20,000 match at this level.
Wow.
We need 20 gifts of $1,000 to meet this match. Can anybody donate $1,000 today? Kim, former Chief Development Officer at PPCW, Kimberly Thompson, will be kicking us off with our first $1,000 gift. Thank you so much, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
And Kathy and Nils Jensen, thank you so much for your gift of $1,000.
Wow.
Oh my goodness. Meryl Haber, thank you so much for your gift. Oh my gosh. Renee St. Clair, I see you, boo. Thank you so much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I love you all so much. This is so wonderful. Oh my gosh. Rebecca Freindenwald, thank you so much for your generous donation. Oh my gosh, look, it just keeps coming in. I know. Oh, we are getting so close to our goal. Look at that. Oh my gosh.
Aaron Moscow, $1,000. That's amazing.
Woo! Oh my gosh. And our friends at the Partners Group, thank you so much for donating your gift of $1,000 today. Suzanne Bonamici, thank you so much. Thank you so much for donating. Patricia Norris, I see you in the crowd here.
Oh my goodness.
You are all so generous. Thank you so much, every single one of you. This is so wonderful.
I wish I could do fast math.
Yeah, not my strong suit either. Gordon and Catherine Keene, $10,000 donation.
No way. Oh my gosh.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh. $2,000 from Sig Linda Jacobson.
Wow.
Woo. This is big, y'all. We are so close. We are getting there. Oh.
Wow, I can't even believe that.
There's like just pouring in Nancy Penman, Molly Keating, Corey Allen.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Anonymous, I know that one.
Anonymous. I love them. Mariah Galavies.
Wow.
Hey boo. Hope your babies are doing well.
Oh my goodness.
Anonymous. We've got anonymous donations coming in for big chunks of money. This is amazing. Thank
So
you all.
kind.
Thank you all so much.
Wow.
Oh, woo.
Is there not more confetti? What are we doing?
Wendy Berger. Berger. What a wonderful last name.
That's
I
awesome.
love that.
Oh, wow. Beth Kay, look at that rolling. Robert McConville.
Oh, woo. We are raking it. Jason Bell, every single dollar that you are all donating is helping us keep our doors open and serve all of our patients.
Yes, thank you so much to board member Bradley Miller and Jordan Schnitzer and the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation for your matching gifts. And thank you to the generous donors who are helping us reach this match. There's so much going on.
Okay, so let's move to our next level of giving, which is $500, and this is exciting. Starting now, all remaining levels will be doubled thanks to visionary matching gift sponsor Samantha Richardson.
Wow.
Can anyone make a gift of $500 right now to support Planned Parenthood? Oh, thank you, Claire Galton, for your generous gift of $500. And Janet Hoffman, again, thank you, Janet, for your $500 gift, which has been doubled. And Betsy Henning with AHA, again, I am loving these second donations.
Wow, Sanford Plant, $500.
Oh my gosh, thank you all so much. The Partners Group, again, another second donation. Thank you for your $500 gift. And Jean Shapp, thank you for your $500 gift. And I see you out there, Dad. Thank you for donating. Ray French, the man, the myth, the legend.
He got the confetti.
Dad got the confetti. And Mom, too. Mom, I know you had something to do with that.
Wow, Gary Berger, $1,000. That wonderful name we're going to remember.
Oh,
I love
the burgers. More donations from burgers. I love that.
All of it. Keep it coming.
Jessica Kiersmaker, I saw your name on that list. Shout out to Jessica Kiersmaker.
Diane Jordan, another anonymous for $1,000.
Diane Jordan, my mother-in-law. I love you. Thank you so much for donating. Oh my gosh, this is so wonderful.
I know. Oh, we all know that all of you watching today stand in solidarity with the staff of PPCW. We wanted to give Luncheon guests the chance to share your encouragement for staff during this live event. And we received so many wonderful messages of support, including thank you for your amazing work, especially in these difficult times. We all owe a debt of gratitude to you. Agreed. Thank you for your hard work, your expert care, and your unending compassion. The world is a better place because of you. Yes. Patients come to your health centers and call your phone lines because they know they can depend on PPCW to provide care for them, and you make it happen. Absolutely. Thank you for your courageous and caring efforts to make sure that our community members receive the care they need. The high level of care and compassion that you provide to our community deserves our constant support. What we're doing, I love it so much. Please know how much you are appreciated and celebrated, even if some days feel dark. Hang in there and keep fighting the good fight. We've got your backs. That's wonderful.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your words of encouragement. We have had some money rolling in. We are going to move to our next level. We have Tracy Curtis, Lisa Watson, Sydney Bear, and Vicki White all have been donating.
Thank you.
I see Brandy Danson in the crowd, may or may not be my wife. Hey. Lena Crandall and Carrie McGuigan, I'm seeing some of our providers, some of our incredible providers at our health centers are pitching in to make sure that we can treat all of our patients. This is wonderful. Pip Denhart, Commissioner, Sharon Miram, oh my goodness, $500 donation.
Yeah.
We are so thankful for all of you. The staff at PPCW know firsthand that access to sexual and reproductive health care and education changes lives. And you, our supporters, our donors, our community, help make that work possible. Every dollar you give today will help us provide that care no matter what. Let's move to our next level of giving, which is $250. Remember, all gifts at this level are doubled. Can anyone make a gift of $250 right now to support PPCW?
It's so exciting.
I know.
I keep waiting.
Oh my gosh, we have money pouring in. Marie Lowe, thank you so much for your generous donation.
Lisa Gardner.
Adrian Livingston, Catherine Bradley, thank you all so much. Our next level of giving is $100. Can anyone make a gift of $100 right now to support Planned Parenthood? And don't forget, all of these donations are doubled.
Right, every little bit.
Every little bit.
Add up so much.
Every little bit. Adrian Livingston, thank you so much. Mary Zotter.
Wow,
Megan
look at 'em
Malinsky with a $300 donation. Oh my gosh, we just got an anonymous $5,112 donation.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, this is incredible. Mary Rita Hurley, thank you so much for donating. Whew, this is fun. It's like a telethon. It really is like a telethon. Oh, that's so fun.
Should have paid more attention.
Tina and Bill Brown, we see you and your generous $2,000 donation. Thank you so much. Thank you all so much. Jane Forrester, $300. Thank you all. We are going to move to our next level of giving, and this will be our last level of giving, which is $50. Who can make a gift of $50 to support PPCW, our patients, our staff, the staff, my friends? Holla, I see you all out there. I see you, Mo. I see you, Mo, watching from that conference room. I love you.
The superpower you have.
Superpower. I can see through the lenses.
Wow, Elizabeth York, $204. Another anonymous for $255.
Oh my gosh, Catherine Simpson, Maura Duggan Sullivan.
Judith Rubin, $1,000.
Oh my gosh.
This is incredible, really incredible. Thank you, everyone. If you want to send a check donation, you can make your gift out to PPCW, write Luncheon in the memo line, and mail to PPCW at 3727 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Portland, Oregon, 97212. Remember that your luncheon gifts will be doubled thanks to our generous visionary matching gift sponsors.
We are so grateful to all of you for standing with us and for supporting our patients and our staff today. I think that if they could, they would reach out and give all of you a massive hug if we weren't in the middle of a pandemic, but at least a massive thank you on behalf of PPCW. Now, I would like to introduce someone I'm proud to say is a leader of PPCW, board member Marietta Gary-Smith.
Thank you all for your support for PPCW today. I'm delighted and honored to introduce the keynote speaker for our 20th annual luncheon, Roxane Gay. Roxane is a woman of many talents. She is a professor, an editor, a cultural critic, a contributing opinion writer for the New York Times, and a renowned essayist and writer. Her fictional work includes Aiti, An Untamed State, World of Wakanda, the first Marvel comic written by a Black woman, and I own it, and the national bestseller Difficult Women. But perhaps Roxane is best known for her raw and incisive nonfiction work, most notably her memoir Hunger and widely acclaimed essay collection Bad Feminist. One glowing review of Bad Feminist read, "Roxane is so great at weaving the intimate and personal with what is most bewildering and upsetting at this moment in culture." So as we continue to grapple with the impacts of COVID and are now reckoning with the very real possibility of the dismantling of Roe v. Wade, who better to turn to for wisdom than the insightful, the brilliant, the bad feminist, Roxane Gay.
Hi, I am Roxane Gay. I am a writer, an editor, a cultural critic, and sometimes a professor. And it is a real pleasure to be here with you at the annual luncheon for Planned Parenthood Columbia Willamette. Now, I wish that we were sharing the same physical space. I know that all of us are probably fairly weary of the pandemic as we enter the third year, but for now, this is the safest and most effective way for us to still come together for something that is so incredibly important, and that is supporting Planned Parenthood. I am, among other things, a bad feminist. And what I mean by that is that I am human. I am imperfect. Nearly 8 years ago, in 2014, I published an essay collection called Bad Feminist. The title was in part tongue-in-cheek, and it was also a way of acknowledging my complicated relationship to feminism. It was a way of reconciling the fact that I am absolutely an ardent feminist, but I am human, I have ideological inconsistencies, and I still want to find a space where I can manage both of these truths. In the title essay, I was particularly concerned with reproductive freedom, because in the early 2010s, a woman's right to choose was under attack, much in the way that it has been time and again for most of history. It was a time when a legislator suggested that a woman could not get pregnant from sexual assault because a woman's body has a way of just shutting that whole thing down. And it was also a time when several states imposed draconian measures that essentially made it impossible for women in those states to have affordable, unfettered access to birth control and other reproductive services. I remarked that I felt the urge more than once to start an underground railroad of sorts for women to be able to access these services if and when the healthcare system began to fail us once more, and I still feel that way. Now, it's important to acknowledge that whisper networks serving women and their needs have long existed. Whether abortion is legal or not, women who need to terminate a pregnancy find all kinds of ways to do so, whether it's seeing an underground abortionist or trying to self-induce a termination at home. These are unacceptable options, but desperation will make even the most unacceptable options suddenly viable. A few years ago, I read a fascinating article in a magazine about one such whisper network of women working beyond the law in the medical establishment to provide safe, cheap abortions for people with uteruses. The article focused on a woman named Anna, a dancer with training as a doula who, angry with her own over-medicalized birth experience, decided to take matters into her own hands when she found herself pregnant a second time and knew she could not afford a second child. Anna found a network of women. She received training, did more of her own research online, and became part of that network herself. She offered her services for affordable prices to people who needed them, who had no other access to reproductive health care or could not afford formal medical care. I was struck throughout the article by Anna's competence, the attention that she paid to the women she worked with, and how she listened to them. She trusted them to know their own lives, and she counseled them in ways that best served their needs and their bodies on their own terms, most importantly, without judgment. I thought about how Anna embodies what all people deserve and what Planned Parenthood tries to provide throughout the United States and here in Columbia-Willamette. And I thought about what a shame it is that Anna had to use a pseudonym and she had to mask her identity because that was the only safe way for her to talk about the work that she did. I thought about how she had to turn to an underground network in the first place because she knew there were no other options available to her. I thought about how through the work she does, she is taking a stand not only for herself, but for all of the people in her community who deserve to be supported and treated as human beings. I thought about what a shame it is that for far too many people, their best options, even though abortion is legal, is to use whisper networks and information they find online so they might take some control of their reproductive lives. These women are often working class and or queer and or women of color, the most vulnerable among us, forced to fend for themselves even though we live in a bountiful country that could easily offer the same institutional and systemic support it offers those with the most power. So, here we are. Roe versus Wade and any and all of our reproductive freedoms remain under attack, but with each passing year, instead of getting better, the attacks are more dangerous, more coordinated, and unfortunately, they are more effective. I hope that you will forgive me a digression. Whenever the movie Jurassic Park comes on, I watch it. I have seen it dozens of times now, and it still thrills me. From the first moment when paleontologists Alan Grant and Ellie Settler see dinosaurs resurrected and roaming through lush plains. I love the swagger of Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm. He's sly and flirtatious, a rebel academic, though I must tell you, I've been teaching for 15 years, and I have never met a professor who looks like Jeff Goldblum. And there is something so majestic about the idea of dinosaurs once again roaming the earth. That is, of course, until they stop being an intriguing attraction and they become something far more dangerous and more menacing. There is a moment in the film where the Jurassic Park game warden is explaining the intelligence of the velociraptors, the most dangerous animals in the park. He talks with admiration almost about how 3 of them were testing the electric fences, searching for weaknesses in the system, and, more disturbing, was that they remembered what they learned with each foray. We have seen in recent years that conservatives are learning where the weaknesses in our legal system are. They are finding every single hole in Roe v. Wade, and they are doing everything in their power to overturn it. They get more savvy and effective with each encroachment on reproductive freedom. For example, Texas SB 8 went into effect on September 1st, 2021. It bans abortions in all cases, including incest and rape, after 6 weeks, which is, frankly, the majority of all abortions. This law is the bottom of the slippery slope that begins with fetal heartbeat laws. Worse yet, it allows anyone to sue people who provide abortion services or who support them in that work. This law is extreme, and it is craven, and it is cruel. It criminalizes a legal right, and it is punitive mostly to the most vulnerable populations, those who cannot afford to travel to other states, and of course these are people who are disproportionately marginalized. This law is not the end game, however craven it is. It is the beginning of a renewed attack that gains strength with each passing day that the law is allowed to stand. If, ultimately, the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade, legislation even more draconian than this will be passed in any state where people with uteruses are seen as incubators rather than as people with bodily autonomy. I am not being alarmist. In 2021, 19 states passed 106 laws restricting abortion. Each law diminishes women's bodily autonomy a little more, and at some point, we won't have any freedoms left. What's worse is that as clinics across the country shutter, people are going to lose access to a wide range of healthcare services they can receive, especially at Planned Parenthood. These include healthcare for people across the gender spectrum, from annual exams to chest screenings to STI testing, gender-affirming healthcare, and so much more. I suppose this is sort of a silly analogy, but in the fight for reproductive freedom, anyone who seeks to stand in the way of women's bodily autonomy, well, they are the velociraptors. Roe versus Wade, which has stood as law for nearly 50 years, is the fence keeping danger away. Planned Parenthood is the fence. Anyone who cares about women are the fence, and we cannot permit that fence to be breached. The costs for women, for anyone with a uterus, are far too high. In truth, I have to say that I struggled in coming up with what to say with you today because there are restrictions on what you can say for at fundraisers for nonprofit organizations, and you have to avoid politics. And so I kept thinking, what am I going to talk about? How do you talk about abortion in a way that is not political? And then I realized abortion is actually not a political issue. It is an issue that has been politicized. Really, what abortion is a human rights issue. When we're talking about reproductive freedom and access to reproductive health care of all kinds, we are ensuring that women have the right to remain free. We are ensuring that women are able to live full, vibrant lives on their own terms. And I refuse to believe that we live in a world where that freedom is political. Instead, it is basic human rights. It is table stakes. And it's really important as we consider the ways in which we can support upholding Roe v. Wade to realize that it is not about politics in any way. It really is about allowing people with uteruses to live the same lives as those who do not have them. Despite the challenges that we're facing, there are things that give me hope. The fact that you are here attending this virtual luncheon and supporting Planned Parenthood lets me know that there are a lot of people out there who understand what's at stake and who are willing to take a very necessary stand. By your presence here today, you are making it clear that there are still people in this community and in this country who are prepared for the worst case scenarios, who are fighting to ensure that women will have inalienable rights, who believe that people with uteruses deserve unfettered and, most importantly, affordable access to reproductive health care, to birth control, and yes, even to abortion. You are a reminder that talking about freedom is not a political issue. It is the bare minimum that we can do for anyone who lives in this world that we share. It is important to remember that we are not here to submit to surrendering our humanity. We will not allow that for anyone in any body. We are going to show up when and where we need to. We are going to stand in concert with organizations like Planned Parenthood. We are going to make sure that they have the resources to support women and people with uteruses in their clinics across the country. We are going to stand with them. We are going to do everything in our power to uphold and protect Roe v. Wade. We will hold this line. We are the fence. If you take one thing with you this evening, please know we are the fence.
Wow. Roxane, thank you for taking the time to join us today and to share your words with us. To all of you out there watching us live, thank you for tuning in to PPCW's 20th Annual Luncheon. We hope you enjoyed the program this afternoon.
And I am thrilled to share that we have raised a total of $419,200 also dollars.
Yes.
$419,200.
Dollars, money.
Money! We are so close to meeting that $420,000 goal. I am so thankful for every single one of you. It is not too late to donate. If you haven't made your gift yet, you can do that by clicking the donate button above our heads, or you can text PPCW20 to 44321 to make a donation. You also can mail your gift. You can make a check out to PPCW, write Luncheon in the memo line, and send to PPCW at 3727 Northeast Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, Portland, Oregon 97212. Your support and donations for PPCW are critical right now, and we are so appreciative to know that you all stand with us now and into the future.
We'd like to give an extra special thank you to LNS Captioning for keeping the program accessible with their live captioning of the luncheon, Vibrant Tables, Remy Wines, the amazing crew at AV Department, Megan Clark, Kylie Juggart with In Common Films, and Liz Moan for creating our beautiful videos. Andy Petkiss Photography for her many years of taking beautiful luncheon photos, and the amazing Jade Hollingsworth for your video support.
Hey Jade, holla. We'd also like to thank the board of directors for their leadership, especially throughout the last few years.
And a big thank you to the Luncheon's presenting sponsor, Care Oregon. Our visionary matching gift sponsors, Christine and David Vernier, Samantha Richardson, and Jordan and the Harold and Arlene Schnitzer Care Foundation. Our protector sponsors, our dedicated luncheon committee, our wonderful promoter sponsors and virtual table captains, and a big thank you to the PPCW staff who helped make this event happen.
Thank you all so much for joining us and supporting PPCW today. Have a wonderful afternoon. Yay!